Right, guys, what's the word? What's the word? I'm here with more Phantom Parade, and we got Choso. I'm not sure if you guys pay attention to my post, but I would have posted, obviously, on YouTube that I summoned for him. I got him on a single summon, honestly. Was really hype about it. Did not go for dupes because I'm locking the cubes right now. Not only that, but there's no guarantee that I will get it, but like I said, I got him off a single summons, and I wasn't really too keen on getting him just because I'm not the biggest Choso fan. But I've been hearing he's better than Ho Gojo, which I found crazy. But um, I've done a few battles with him. He seems to be a more complex, well, not really complex unit, but his whole thing is revolves around him going into the flowing red skills, in which he buffs himself, and he's a pretty cool unit. Not like I really need another green one, but at the same time, I love the fact that I could get these exclusive units. Not sure if he's going to be added to the standard banner anytime soon, but just take a look at this kit before we do anything. Like I said, he completely revolves around being in that flowing red skill state. It changes after you use his skill 2. So let's take a look at his skill 1. Deals melee attack hybrid damage to target enemies equal to 133.26 of physical technique and 44 of curse technique. So here's a little bit of hybrid damage going on, and it also applies poison to them equal to 46% of curse technique, which is pretty good. Almost 50% of your curse technique to them. 46%, that's a lot of poison damage. But as you can see, all of his skills change once you go into the flowing red skill state. You can just select after change. When using flowing red skill, the skill effect changes, deals melee attack hybrid damage to target equal to 266.53% of physical technique and 88.84 curse technique. Also applies a poison equal to 93.8% of curse technique damage. Jesus, that's insane. Almost 100% of poison. And the fact that you could actually stack poisons in this game is really good as well. Oh, it also applies damage taken increase of which is the green unit. So like I said, this is the skill that you want to use to actually activate the flowing red skill state. As you can see, applies flowing red skill 4 turns, and you get 26.51% increase to both your physical and damage dealt increase. You also recover 5 curse energy for self. When turn starts, use melee attack hybrid damage 266 physical, 88.84% curse technique, 25% damage taken increase to when you use it on your enemy. And when the flowing red skill state is active, skill changes to flowing red skill stack, and it changes it consumes more curse energy than about that. So what I was saying was that after you go into the flowing red skill state, the consumption of curse energy increases from 5 to 30, a big jump, but I think it's worth the trade-off. I was kind of wondering if you could run a battery on the team that you're using with like Kaito, but on the teams I've tested so far, I haven't really been able to make room for a battery. So after you go into the flowing red scale, the buff it goes from 4 turns to 6 turns, and instead of 21 or 26, sorry, can't remember how much, 26.51, it goes up to 46.6 physical increase, and as well as curse technique increase. 46.6% damage dealt increase also, which is insane, and 55.98 damage taken decrease with a certain chance, 40% chance to that. It deals melee and melee attack hybrid 399, 79.79 physical technique, 266.53 curse technique, and it hit you 3 times. So before the flowing red skill state, he would only hit you twice, but along with this, after the flowing red skill, it hit you 3 times. Also gives the enemy 25% taken of the green unit. Basically the enemy would take more damage from the green unit's attacks, if that makes sense. Slicing exorcism, range attack to target equal to 266.53 curse technique, and it hits you 3 times, and it gives you poison damage, which is pretty cool. This is probably my favorite skill after the flowing red skill state is active, because I'll show you what it does. It also applies more damage taken increase of the green unit to the enemy, but after the change it gets a bit crazy. Only consumes 20 range attack damage to 266.53 curse technique, so it's fully curse technique damage. Applies poison of almost 100%, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, in testing I was able to give the enemy disruption, so I'm not sure if that's in the description here. Let's see, deals range attack damage to the same target equal to 266.53% of curse technique, and applies continuous damage poison 93.8% of curse technique to them, and applies 46 damage taken of green unit, which is insane. And it also applies disruption to them for 2 turns, 93.8% chance, which is insane. You could actually get some serious, not only damage that, but you could waste some serious turns for the enemy by having them just disrupt themselves. And lastly is his ultimate, which is pretty cool, piercing blood. It also gives himself the flowing red skill, so skill 2 is not the only way to give yourself that. If you pop the ult, you also get the flowing red skill, 50% physical, 50% curse, 50% damage done, and 60% damage taken decrease. You have a 40% chance to apply that, which is insane. This ultimate is, while it may not do the most damage the first time, all the buffs that you get for doing it, and it is actually pretty strong. 900% curse technique, and gives poison equal to 100%, which is insane, and applies 50% damage taken increase. So not only is Choso buffing himself, he's debuffing the opponent as well, which is crazy. And then after flowing red skill, it deals the damage of 900% of curse technique. Still 100% poison, not 100% poison, but it's 100% of your curse technique of poison damage onto them, is, if that makes sense. It's a bit wonky, but I think you understand what I mean. And 50% damage taken. The more I read about him, I wasn't really like buying into the propaganda that he's better than H.O. Gojo, but now that I'm reading, he's buffing himself, activating poison. He's a bit of a monster, but I don't think he's better than Gojo. Yeah, so this range attack damage to the same target equal to 399 of curse technique, 5 hits into. Oh yeah, after he's in the flowing red scales, his ultimate changes from just like, I think, a 2-turn or a 3-turn hit. It basically gives him an extra turn of damage, basically, and it looks different in animation. I'll try to show you guys, but enough of me yapping. This has been a long ass intro going over his kit and all that stuff. Let's get right into the video. back. I know I usually use like the EX stages to test out my new characters, but I found that the hardest EX stage in the Vicarious experience is a bit too easy for my green units right now, so I just wanted to see how well we could fare in the Curse Spirit SP battle thingamabob, you know. I forget what it's called, but I'll do this first just to gauge how far I can reach, and then we could test it out in one of the EX stages. So let's go. I want this team. I would prefer my dual buffer team here. I like to use this on both him and Gojo, but I would think something like non-standard or pride would be better for him. Reason being, that recollection bit takes a while before it gets going, and unlike a character like H.O. Gojo, the Choso gets his ultimate a lot quicker than him, so it might be better to put, like I said, like non-standard or pride or something on him, but we can test it out and see how it goes first. Alright, so double buffer plus get for debuffs. Gonna debuff him first and then go into the fully red skill. Okay, so into the fully red skill, so we just keep going. Skill 2. Use this? No, let's use our skill 3. Our skill 3 is probably going to be our best weapon in the later stages, because like I said, once you get into the once it changes, you can actually disrupt your enemy and stuff. I am actually just gonna skill 2 one more time. Costs a lot of curse energy to keep up the fully red skill state, but that's okay. And just like that, we're into rank 4 in 4 turns. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep buffing alt with Ghetto, and as you can see, the state changed from slicing whatever it was called to supernova. So now we can fire off a supernova just to show you what it's like. Nice ult by Ghetto. Now we should make it to rank 5 right now. Oh wow, well we did. I shouldn't have doubted myself. So I'm just gonna buff, debuff, debuff again, and we are gonna fire off Choso's ult right now. Like I said, Choso gets his ult way faster than Gojo. Oh, we were already in the full red skill set, so normally the blood attack doesn't come down if you're not in the full red skill state, so that was a nice surprise. I am gonna skill 2 to keep myself in that state. Nice. Rank 6. Alright, he's back up. So I'm gonna keep on debuffing. And I can only skill 1, so. Nice. I really think Choso should be immune to poison, since, you know, that's him and his brother's whole thing, and as you can see, our curse energy went up. I think that's one of his auto skills. I completely forgot to go over that, sorry, but can't see that now, so I'm just gonna use supernova right now. Apologies if I forgot to go over his auto skill, so. Should make it to rank 7 right now. Oh, well, almost, but so I'm gonna debuff. I'm actually gonna heal as well. I wanna I want to keep myself in the full red skill state, but because Choso is last, I don't think I'll be able to. Because Ghetto's gonna kill. Yep. Just like that, we're on 7. Awesome. Gonna buff. Gonna ult with Ghetto. I'm gonna skill 2 before I skill 3. Apologies about that. I'm gonna skill 2 before I skill 3 because I want to keep myself in the state. Now, our green attacks are gonna do way more damage. Alright. So we have our ult again with Choso. So we're just gonna fire that off with the recollection bit. Should give us a lot more damage. Look how much damage that does. That's nice. Easily rank 8. We're gonna make it to rank 8 so much easier than I thought. He's getting a bit high, so I am gonna drop his ultimate gauge a bit. Continuing doing this, and I'm gonna skill 3. Why are these notifications popping out on my phone right now? We're not getting many disruptions though, but the poison is definitely taking its toll. Looks like we're gonna lose Yaga right now, but that should be fine. I'm gonna skill 3 again. Nice. We don't get any disruption, which is which sucks, but Gojo comes in, get the buffs, we get the buffs, and the debuff, and I'm gonna skill 1 because I want to be able to skill 2 next turn if I'm able to keep the flurry red skill state. And that's the thing with Choso, you always want to keep that flurry red skill state for as long as you can. Oh, he's gonna pop his ult. I'm gonna skill 2. I'm gonna commit. Let's see what happens. We don't get the break, but oh, he attacked Gojo. Perfect. That was perfect. Luck was on our side. Gonna fire off that. You obviously don't use anything other than skill 2 with Gojo. Break. Oh, we don't break. Oh, we break now. We should make it to rank 9. Gonna fire off 3 ultimates at once. Nice. And we make it to rank 9. Nice. That's the highest rank I've ever made it to for any Cursed Spirit cleanup. Nice, good damage. And if I had more time, I definitely could make it to rank 10, but we don't have that luxury. It's just the damage that Choso did. Right now, damage at 28 million in total, 3 million in 1 turn. That's not bad. I've done more in 1 turn with other characters. Won't name names, but Choso is a pretty good unit, and not to mention that I don't have him any duped. This is literally just a character on his own. So maybe if I'm able to get him duped, I would able to be I would definitely be able to output a lot more damage. But let's try an EX stage for the last 1 second. I'm here. I'm gonna fight Mahito. Like I said, this EX stage is a bit easy, but just to I like to do 2 showcases, but I like to fight 2 different enemies just to get different perspectives on what Choso can do. but here we go. Alright. So like I said, you always want to start off with the Floyd Red skill state. That's going to allow you to do way more damage than you normally would. And as you can see, he only hits twice before entering the Floyd Red skill state. So you wanna I'm gonna skill 1. It's pretty hard to hit Mahito when he's flying, so I doubt any of our attacks will hit him. But even if Ghetto's attacks miss, he still increases the damage taken by the green typing. So I'm gonna continue trying to hit this guy. Nice, getting some damage off. Okay, we miss. He's plainly attacking Choso. Okay. Gonna have to restart this one because it wouldn't be a Choso showcase without Choso, so we'll be right back. Alright, back for the 3rd time. Like, what was that RNG? But either way, let's keep it going. You guys know what I'm gonna do. So okay, started out how it did last time. Hope it doesn't end that way. So keep on. Try to use skill tree. Nice. Okay, we didn't connect. He's double attacking into everybody. That's insane. Okay. Continue trying to skill 3. Okay, we still miss. That's fine. That is completely fine. Okay, he falls down, so should be able to finally hit him somehow. Gonna skill 2 just to keep myself in a red scale state. You never want that to leave. Gonna fire off his skill 3. Not even sure if you're gonna get to see his ult because as you can see, Mahito is already almost at half health. This dragon should do a lot of damage to him. Yep. So we get the break. Hopefully. As you can see, he's almost done, so I'm just gonna end it with an ult. I might not even end it with an ult. Ghetto might end it with his skill 1. Oh no, so we get to see a nice Choso ult with the Floyd Red skill, so that should take care of that. Nice. Oh, he has resurrection. Okay, so I thought I was done, but I don't. Gonna skill 3. But he's broken, so all this debuff should make it pretty easy for me to just Oh, auto skill kicks in. This should be his last turn on Earth. Let's go. Pop, pop, pop. Yep. So that's Choso. Really nice unit. Not the biggest fan, but either way, let's see how much he did. He did a lot more in this. Probably because it's a weaker opponent than the last one. But really, I'm digging Choso. I'm digging the unit. I just need to dupe him maybe once or twice to make him a bit better. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Really means the world to me. I've been to Deuces.